Boom. All right, here we go. Our interview with Carrie Scholl. We're live on Facebook, and welcome to the Real Estate Marketing Show. Can you tell I forgot to hit record?
Yeah, hey, we're recording now though. We are good. We're
All
on it.
right. All right, so I just want to make sure we got good audio and video from the audience. If you can let us know, that would be awesome. It looks like we are.
Testing. One, two,
Testing, one, two,
three.
three.
Testing.
Okay, so everybody, I know Carrie from Closing Table Mastermind. I think we've had the opportunity to mastermind and network and bond a little bit for the last year or so. Immediately meeting Carrie Scholl, she lights up a room, she takes over a room, she exudes complete power and enthusiasm and energy, and she's just awesome. And then when you find out who she is and what she does, you're kind of like blown away. You're like, how is this even possible that I get to talk to somebody like this? So to have her on the Real Estate Marketing Show is quite an honor. So Carrie, would you tell us just a little bit about yourself, how you got in the business? I know you rock starred real quick, and just give us a little rundown before we get into video branding and marketing.
Oh, well, thank you. That was quite the introduction. I might be blushing here. So yeah, I'll give you my quick history. I grew up moving a ton. So I moved 13 times before I turned 18.
Wow.
And that kind of helped me to understand both the joys and travesties of real estate. And after college, I went to Penn State, had a ton of fun at Penn State, had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do after college. And one of my friends got a job working for NVR, which is a new construction builder. They have an incredible training program. So I ended up in new home sales, fell in love with the business. And it's a long story, but the short version is that my mentor invited me to leave new home sales with her and go into resale. And she had an investor that had $50 million cash I know, wait for it. So they wanted to buy, this is 2008 to give you perspective. They wanted to buy bulk short sales and foreclosures with that 50 million and then sell them 3 years later. So she was basically walking me through the exercise where I was doing the math. And she said, look, I'll give you half of everything if you come with me. Well, there was an error on my calculator. I'm like, wow, that is so much money. I am going with you. So 3 weeks later, that investor with the $50 million bought a hotel. And I woke up and I'm like, holy crap, I need to make some money. I need to go sell some houses and figure out how to do this business. So that's how I got in.
That's amazing. I love that story.
It was quite by accident. I was like, wow, all right. Thankfully, I fell in love with the business and I grew a team really quickly. So I started with Craig Proctor and went to a live event in 2010. It completely blew my mind and changed my life because I met a bunch of people that were doing what I wanted to do. I saw that they had created these incredible teams and businesses, and that gave me the inspiration. And live events have always been really something in my heart that I wanted to contribute and give back and surround myself by people and create the opportunities for people. So we're actually doing an event coming up December 7th with Grant Cardone. So agents everywhere can have that same inspiration and experience that I did.
Okay, wait, hold on. Your event, you're having who come to your event?
Mr. Uncle G, Grant Cardone.
10X, baby. Hey, listen, before I completely screw this up, and I should have full disclosure, I threw my back out and I got a muscle relaxer from somebody, and they told me after I took it that I would be knocked out. So it's probably going to kick in while we're on this. But
I got you. Well, the listeners and I will pull you through it.
But I do know there's a very other special guest that's mind-blowing. Are we going to be allowed to say that on this, or are we going to have to wait?
Yeah, we cannot.
Oh, gosh, you guys, you will not believe it.
I have to sign the contract first, but I can tell you this. If you want to take your business to the next level with video, if video is something that you see potential in, you will want to be in the room with this guy.
I told you I'm rearranging my whole life, and I'm not kidding when I say that this December is the busiest month I'll have in my career since I started in real estate, and I'm going to change my entire life to make sure I'm in your city so I don't miss this event. All right, so one thing you said is Craig Proctor, and would you say 2010?
Yeah, 2010 is when I went to my first event.
That's so awesome. And events have always been a really big deal to me. And I want to tell you something I think I might have told you before. My first Craig Proctor event, I think was in 1997. I
Good
just
for
totally,
you.
totally aged myself. But yeah, Craig and I have been good friends for a long time. And there is actually on this podcast, you guys, there's a What Should I Do All Day as a Real Estate Agent. There's another podcast asking, I think it's called How to Stay Motivated. And I truly firmly believe that one of my most important secrets to success is making sure I go to a major event every 90 days. And most of the
Yeah.
time, those events I do have to get on a freaking airplane for. And I think it's important to network with people across the country. You learn the most, you take it more seriously. And the last thing is I pay for my events because I always gladly pay, because not only are they a write-off, but I won't participate if I don't pay. So it's a really big deal to make sure you do those events. So I don't want to get too far sidetracked. So okay, so fast forward through this quickly. Give us a journey. What year you started and where you're at today, quickly.
So from 2010, when I went to my first live event, which you were probably there. So we knew each other back in the day, pre-closing table from Proctor too.
Probably.
But I was a very small fish, so I didn't get to hang out with you then. So I went from 22 transactions
Whoa.
to 365 in 5 years.
That's stupid. Do you know that to this day I've never sold 365 homes in a year? I'm not even sure I want to unless I have a team. Talk to me about your team real quick.
Sure.
How you grew that team.
So my secret to success was realizing what I suck at, which sounds funny, but I mean, I truly suck at making time to make phone calls. It is not my core strength. And so I had a lot of coaches. Actually, you remember Todd Walters, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Todd Walters was a huge inspiration to me. But one of the things that he firmly believed is you have to be an ISA, right? You have to be your own ISA until you work out of that position. And I knew that that was never something I was going to be good at, right? So I went against his recommendation. I was also being coached by Danny Griffin at the time. Remember Danny?
Mm-hmm.
So Danny was the one that said, like, look, Carrie, you know yourself. If you're not going to do it, you need to hire for somebody to do it. So I went from having an assistant to having an assistant, a buyer's agent, and 3 ISAs in like a couple month period. And I just decided, they taught me, hey, if you hire one person in a role, they might not succeed. And so it's better to have 2. And I knew that was something I was really good at, generating leads from like day one. So I just blew it up. My team today has 48 people, and it's about half agents and half ISAs in support. And we need to hire 12 more agents going into 2019, because our goal is to do 1,000 transactions in 2019.
I love
and I'm
that.
gonna have a baby, right?
I was going to say, I wanted to stop for a second and talk to the agents, because a lot of them, one of the videos I did we could talk about that. One of the videos I did last week was about change and self-limiting beliefs and things like that. And I've coached enough agents across this beautiful country to know when people are pregnant. When I say people, when the wife is pregnant, the husband is too, right? And we're both kind of pregnant together as we go down this journey. But one thing I know is their business kind of drops off and they make excuses. So as I talked to you the other day, sitting in a car seat was a daughter how old?
She's a year old.
And then this one is about how old so far?
Half cooked. So
Half
gonna
cooked.
be born in April.
So meanwhile, we've had basically 2 people developing on us in the last year and a half to 2 years, and we're going to close 500 freaking transactions this year with makeup on, a smile on your face, and I know your butt just got on a plane back from Orange County to the East Coast. So agents, if you're listening, especially women, and I believe 100% women power, like, this is such an inspiration to all of us agents, all of us in any industry really, but especially the women, because if Carrie can do it, everybody can do it. And I think what I said in the beginning is your devotion and your motivation and your glow, and a glow, but everything about you is just so motivating. All right, so I want to jump into our curriculum today. We don't have PowerPoints. We don't have anything. We're just chit-chatting, and we want to promote your event at the end. We want to talk about it during the middle and why it's so important. but my favorite thing is video, and getting to know you, your favorite thing is video. Now, I was
Yes.
looking at our stats because I wanted to see how badass you were, and you're way more badass than me. So on Mike Bjorkman training, I have 88 videos, and then on Mike Bjorkman for the consumer facing, I have 427 videos. So I said, all right, let me Google up this Carrie Scholl and see how many she has. So you trump me as usual with everything with 811 videos. And as I scrolled through your playlist and what was going on, I was absolutely blown away because you're like me. You understand the power of video. There's professional video, there's fun video, there's entertaining video, there's house videos. There's such an array and a diversification of video posting that I'm like, this is going to be kind of a cool chat. I really like this because besides Cuevas and a couple other people, you just can't really have video chat. And back in the day with Shane Penley, I did video. I was so young, I don't even remember. We had VCR tapes, but that was a big deal in my life because I had listing videos, I had buyer videos, and then the invention of the internet was like, what more could we ask for? And then social media. So we have these platforms now to where we can spread our video messages wide and far. And honestly, my YouTube channel, I've gotten lots of calls that people say, hey, I checked you out on YouTube, come list my house.
Yeah.
That's it. And I've had recruiting appointments with agents where they said, I've checked you out on YouTube and I just want to come work with you. I want to be on your
That's
team.
awesome.
And it happens all the
Yeah.
time. And it's kind of like one of the things we talked about at Closing Table Mastermind last week at the Ritz is, we said there's people, and actually our favorite friend, Billy Jean actually said this. He said, look, you have to realize that everybody is checking you out on the internet. And if you're not there, they're going to think you're weird and they're going to think you're some kind of weird scammer. And, so I actually love when people come to the internet and stalk me a little bit. We try to keep it really clean, but what do they find there? They don't find just a bunch of posts, they find a bunch of videos. So let's dive in, talk about video, how you use video, where do you think you shine at it, and we'll just kind of go back and forth about video.
Well, first of all, I want to say something. When you were about to share my stats, I'm like, oh, I don't even know how to figure out how many videos I have, so thank you.
You just click on it. It just says 811.
Okay, I'm happy that I don't suck in terms of the quantity. I feel like we're producing them all the time. I want to give away a tidbit for a way that I used video yesterday for the first time ever. So we learned from Sharon, who's the
my
CEO.
other hero.
Oh God, I love him. He's amazing.
I only have a few man crushes in this world, and he is in the top 10.
He's amazing. So one of the things that he taught us is in the listing process, use dramatic demonstration. So Mike's talking about using video for your listings, right? So we were going up against someone for a $1.3 million listing. This just happened last night, okay? And they decided to go with the other team. Why? Because they cut their commission and we didn't. And so we're like, interesting. Why don't we study their stats? And we already knew we were going to win, but we didn't know how big we were going to win. They did one listing over $1 million, and we did 40 listings over $1 million in the last 12 months, right? So instead of just telling the seller that, we're like, why don't we go ahead and demonstrate it with video?
Yes.
So we actually did a screen recording, and we said, hey, I'm going to not say their real names, so if the other agent who did the video that we're competing with sees this, they will never know. But we just said, hey, Betty and Sam, we're really committed to doing the best job for you. And one of the things that's so unfair is that you as the consumer don't have access to all the information that we do. So we want to be really fair and transparent. And because of that, we're going to shoot a video so you can see how we're doing the research and how we come up with the information. So we go right into the back end of our MRIS. We video the whole thing. We put in our name. We put in the price point. Boom, up pops the stats. Then we do the same thing with the other agent. Boom. Then we switch it to a whiteboard and we do the percentages. And we're like, for every one home they sell, we sell 40. So ultimately, they had the appointment scheduled with the other team to sign the listing paperwork. They canceled that, and we're going to get the listing now, right? So it's perfect. You're using video to demonstrate the power of what you're doing in marketing. But we took it a step further. Then we said, why don't we compare the stats on our Facebook versus the stats on their Facebook? So we actually went in to the back end of our ads, and we showed them, here's all the ads we have for our sellers, which we really do. Like, we follow through. we can't tell you what commitments they make, but we can show you their feed. So here's the ads, because guys, that's all public, right? That changed. So if you just click on the ads, you can see what a competitor that you're interviewing against is doing.
So the insights is what we're talking about are shared publicly. So I know inquiring minds are going to know, and I forgive me for interrupting you every 2 seconds, but what is your average ad spend per listing? Do you do professional video? Do you do aerial photography on your Facebook?
Okay,
Your
so
business page.
we have 3 licensed drone pilots on our team. We
Of course you do.
actually well, so here's what happened. Like the regulations, and I don't know how long this has been because we haven't been doing it forever. We used to outsource it, and we are kind of control freaks. Like we have our in-house sign guy that puts up our signs now because they kept putting the wrong secondary signs. And
Oh,
so,
mine put them in the wrong yards. Are you kidding me?
oh yeah, so
I'm totally not kidding.
got a truck, got a guy, like we do our own stuff. So with photo and video, we hired a company and started doing HD video above certain price points. We do, like, we bring in actors and we actually do emotional videos, right?
Okay, that's where I was gonna go. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And then with drones, we're like, okay, because of the airports that are in proximity to our location, there's only certain segments. But that's actually one of the things we showed them. We said to the people last night in this video, okay, here is the areas where you're allowed to do drone footage, and look where your house falls. So we have 3 licensed people. We're going to come out and do drone shots for you. So we do all of that.
I am so glad I'm not in your marketplace because I would never get a listing. No, that's cool. I mean, and so how much do we spend on a post when we do a really cool video? Do we boost it? Do we target it? What do we do with our video, and how much do we spend, and what type of views would you expect?
Okay, so here's the part where I suck. Like I'm a delegator, like a
Right.
master delegator. So I don't know.
And that's not a suck. That's actually what you're supposed to do. Automate, delegate, eliminate, right? That's all we ever talk about.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. So, all right. So since it's public, the agents, the viewers watching this and listening to this can go check out your stuff. So that's
Yeah,
fine.
go check it out. I mean, you
It's
are welcome. And if anyone has questions, I'm a complete open book. I have no problem sharing. So if you have a specific question about budget or anything like that, just email me. It's carrie@carrieschultzteam.com. And I'm happy to have my marketing person help us with those numbers. But I don't know.
That's
I do know this. After we met with Gary Vanderchuk, the way we're using video changed.
awesome.
He taught us a really important lesson about being the mayor of our town. And so I went from doing a lot of video that was about listings and about selling your home and about mistakes you can make and about all this stuff. And I said, well, what do people in my town care about, and how do I reach them where they are, regardless of if they're in the buying and selling funnel? And that mindset shift has been dramatic for me. So the first piece I did after that, we got a spot in a local blog where hundreds of thousands of people in our town go. And we have a weekly column that we do now. It might be bi-weekly. But I did a video on bird scooters. Do you guys have bird scooters in your area? Okay, well, this was what everybody was talking about. It was a big controversy. And it just so happened, unfortunately, that someone died on a bird scooter the day after we released our video, right? And so it was awful. Awful for the person driving who didn't even see him, that has a human being under their car and they don't even know it, right? So this story we got thousands of views. We got 120 comments in the matter of a couple hours. And it just went, and that is an example of something when I'm talking about bird scooters, I'm not talking to a buyer or a seller. I'm talking to a person. And that person may remember me when they go to buy and sell their house, whether it's in 6 months, a year, or 5 years. What I'm doing is meeting the audience where they are. And I'm starting to do that, whether it's dog parks, restaurants, business owners. Like I am in the community talking to people all the time.
One of the things I learned from doing our TV show, SCV Today, you guys can pull that up on Facebook, is people like when you're talking about not real estate stuff until they're interested in real estate. So we interview all kinds of nonprofits and animal rescues, things of that nature, and we get more views on those than anything else. And then the second thing I wanted to say was we do actually have a podcast. Actually, the best one I like is that Oliver Graff from Big Block interviewed me, and it's only a couple podcasts back. It's called his is called In the Know, but it's how to make an impact on your town. And if you go back through the YouTube channel that we have, the celebrity, how to be a celebrity in your marketplace, is a really good video that I did live for my agents at my old brokerage, and that's really cool. So you guys want to keep that in mind. And I like how Carrie freaking absolutely just said that so casually. Once I met with Gary Vee, I kind of had a mindset change. Well, of course you did. It's Gary freaking Vaynerchuk. Are you kidding me? Jeez. So you guys, this will just tell you the kind of rock star we're on here with. Okay, so that's I like that. So we talked about listing videos. I'm gonna take notes. Listing, and then we talked about being the mayor of your town in videos, talking about other people. How do you feel about using video for drip campaigns with your sphere of influence and your past clients? Would you consider, or do you, instead of monthly typed out newsletters, do you do monthly bomb videos or monthly market updates? Talk to me about that.
So we do market updates, but I think I could really raise the bar on videos that we're doing for SOI and past clients. Where I've been really good with videos for the last 2 years, I've done really, really focused videos. So as an example, for buyers, and actually Friday, I'm redoing this video sequence. I've used the same one for 2 years because it's evergreen, but I look a little different, a little bigger now that I'm pregnant again.
You look
so.
Beautiful, darling. Don't you worry.
Thank you. I'm updating it, but what I did is the 12, I broke it down into chunks because I find that people don't want to listen to a long thing. They want to listen to something short they can learn from. And you may catch them 5 days where they can't engage, and on the 6th day they engage. So it's just 12 decisions they need to make in crafting an offer to win.
And I watched that. I love that video.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we have it on YouTube probably in one, and then we have it in our drips. It's just one decision. And the headline of the video is the decision they need to make. And so some of them may be interested in home inspection. Some of them are like, how do you leverage EMD to win? You know, they're curious. And so our engagement with those drips has been very high.
That's awesome. So I love that because most people don't drip. They put out a video and then let it go. And I found if you do have a video sequence, that it really works. And there's another video I watched of yours. I think it was called I was looking at titles, and it was the video, the questions they won't answer for you or something like that. It was about I don't even remember what it was. I thought it was the offer, but there's just the video title is what grabbed me, and I appreciate, when I see those things. And it was a professional video of you sitting there, and it was perfect. So if I was a client looking to interview an agent to get my home sold, I would have turned this off, just call Carrie. All right. So what do you have planned as far as, so like we have our TV show, right? I love the TV show. As much of a pain in the ass as it is, it's still really good content that gets out there, and it really helps our community. What are you guys going to be doing up in the future for that sort of public-facing, consumer-facing trend?
Well, that's an awesome question, and I can learn from what you've done. One of my goals is actually to get a reality television show. And so I've started talking about that a little more publicly. I got in touch with a contact of Sharon's and said, hey, here's my goal. And he's like, you mean like a local television show? And I'm like, nope. I want to go big, and I want to get like a huge, reality television show. And he's like, wow, okay, let me put you in touch with this other person. So I have an interview coming up specifically to focus on that. I feel like our story is pretty interesting. Let's imagine we fast forward to next year. I have a newborn, a 1-year-old, and a 3-year-old.
Yeah, and that's gonna be key for sure.
Yeah, so it's going to be the angle that I'm thinking about for the show, because there's real estate agents all over the country that are moms, and they're trying to figure out how do we balance it. And then there's consumers all over the country that are moms that are trying to figure out how do we move and how do we handle all of these logistics with kids. And so integrating kids into the show, it's not really been done before.
Yeah, I like that idea. Well, keep us posted on that, and I probably can help you off air with some other names and some contacts on that too.
I'd love to do a local show as well. I think that is brilliant and gets you in front of all the people who need your help, really.
Right. And and for the audience listening, we might as well say the way we got our show is a really long story, but in every town there's a public access channel, and they're usually a nonprofit, and they're dying for content. If you come to them and say, "Look, I really want to do." I want to make a difference in our community and not talk about real estate, but we want to talk about the nonprofits, the charities, the dog rescues, things like we do. And they love that. They eat that up. And finding sponsors are easy. They make a donation to the station, helps pay for the crew, those types of things. And we can talk about that more later. Talk to me about interviews. Have you interviewed people that have made a difference?
Tons.
Let me hear about that one.
Yeah. So I like headlines. So I just listened to Perry give a talk, Perry Bletcher. He's a copywriting genius, right?
Yeah, he is.
And he says, come up with the headline first and then create the content. And so I thought about that, and I thought, when I've been most successful, that's the way I've done it. And it's not the way I do it all the time. So I'm starting to shift my mindset around that. What's the headline that's going to captivate people? And then how do you create the story that goes with that headline? So what I've done, I knew as an example, reverse mortgages. Well, reverse mortgages were a big hot button, right? Because a lot of people think they're essentially robbing senior citizens, and they're wrong. But there's a lot of misconceptions about that. So now the government has a government-backed reverse mortgage. So I won't get into that, but I chose that headline, and I brought in somebody who specializes in reverse mortgages. That's all they do. I interviewed them. And of course, the view count and the engagement, like people are, and I like a controversial topic, just like the scooters, when there's people who are ending up in ambulances that don't remember their name because of bird scooter. And there's other people that are like, this is changing my life because, I can get from my house to the metro, and it's actually changing where people will buy real estate because of their commute.
Right.
So the pro and con, it's very controversial. So I've done everything from loan officers. I did most recently someone who does probate in Virginia, because ultimately people don't understand how that works, and it causes massive heartache when their loved one dies, and then they have this whole process they have to go through, and it can financially cripple someone. So I definitely did it through the eyes of service. Like, how do we help someone who might be going through this? Not because I was just interested in selling the houses, but I actually wanted to reach the people 10 years from being in this place, because it will make a difference how they set up their estate, how they handle things for the future and their loved ones. So I love coming from a place of contribution. And I love that if I pick out really amazing, incredible vendors, I'm serving the community by having those interviews. For me, I just do them on FaceTime Live, and then I also have a separate camera going, so I have the content to chunk and provide insight. And then recently I started inviting my copywriter, and he does Q&As while I'm doing it all at the same time.
Oh, God, you just got a little more advanced than me. That's for darn sure. I was happy to get this on Facebook Live. Let's see here. So interviews, yes, I agree. There's two videos that stick out in my mind. The VA video I did with my lender, and the 1031 exchange video I did with a guy. And, I try to tell agents, look, you might only have 20 views on your videos on the YouTube channel, but we're going to learn about promoting them a lot more, aren't we, Carrie? But the reality is, at your event coming up December 7th in Virginia,
yes,
then stick around, guys. We're going to talk more about this event. But the reality is it doesn't. You don't need thousands and thousands of views. You just need a couple people that want to do a 1031 exchange or a VA.
Really, you need one, right? You need one person, because how much money would you have spent getting that one lead? You might have needed 100 internet leads. Someone connects with you on video and they learn from you, and it's done.
Yeah, and my team will never be. They're always in awe when people call up and say, "Hey, I just saw your video on YouTube. Let's go get a 1031 exchange." I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." All right, so interviews are important.
By the way, I've never done one on 1031 exchange, so thank you. I'm going to go out and do that immediately.
And most of us have never done one on a reverse mortgage, and like more than I'd say, I don't even want to guess, but I'd say 7 out of 10 agents don't even know how to explain a reverse mortgage to somebody. All right, so we went over drips, we went over interviews. Let's talk about change in media. We know algorithms now. If your video is not entertaining, what's going to happen to it?
Nobody's going to watch it, and Facebook is going to be like, psh, and not even show it to people.
Yeah, so let's jump into social media and how we're going to do changing in our videos. And I believe we're going to be talking about that at your event in December 7th in Virginia.
We are. We are. So, you know what was like a massive aha moment for me? You guys have to go Google Billie Jean and look up the Billie Jean, and it's the wolf of paid advertising.
A wolf
Now,
of marketing.
it's I think it's paid marketing, maybe paid ads, something like that. So if you just Google Wolf of Wall Street, Billie Jean, and watch this video, I'm like, I need to copy this shit. Like
Yeah,
exactly. I need to just
totally.
make up my own thing on this video because everybody will watch it. It'll go viral and people will love me. So I
Oh,
just
you're right. You got me. Wolf of
what?
online marketing, wolf of paid advertising. You're right. So
Okay, wait. Put that link in the chat. People have
yeah,
got, you guys stay with us until the end of this podcast, but after it's done, watch this. This is going to just blow your mind because what it taught me, and I mean, it was like a dramatic mindset shift immediately in the audience. If I only learned that from going to closing table, it would have just advanced how I'm thinking tremendously. So all of
hmm
a sudden it's like, how do we bring entertainment? And so we just had a situation where a client had their house on the market for 6 months with another agent. The other agent was stringing them along saying, oh, we have a cash offer coming in from some embassy, right? Stringing them along. Meanwhile, they called us and said, we need help. Like our agent isn't producing. We've been on the market for 6 months. We need to move. We own this property and we own another $1 million property. And we have to sell this one first. And then we're going to be selling that one, blah, 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 right? So we
boom.
got a real cash offer in under 48 hours. So that's a powerful contrast, right? So now we're going to do, what's the old song? I'm going to butcher the name of it. The like Gungam style or
Oh, the
whatever.
kingdom. Yeah, stupid.
Yes. Yes. So my husband's like, I mean, all I can think
It's
of
been
is that
gone so long, you can actually bring that back.
exactly. So we're gonna do a video that is like highly entertaining. That's telling the story of what they experienced on the front end, and then when they called us, and when they call us is going to be when we use that song, and we're going to basically do a role play with our team from that song. So prior to seeing Billie Jean and watching the video that you guys are going to watch when we're done with this podcast, I mean, that would have blown my mind. I would have never thought of anything like that. And frankly, our videos are entertaining because they're really educational, but they're not funny. They don't captivate you. We don't have like silliness in the video right now. And we're going to push the envelope. We're going to go ahead and just be absolutely crazy and see what happens.
I can't wait to get on some of that. So, all right, guys. So entertaining. If you want to have your video obviously go viral, but if you want to actually have it be seen on social media, we need it to be entertaining. Let's talk about one of my biggest, most controversial things that I teach, and people get so mad at me, is these stupid open house videos. It drives me absolutely insane when somebody legit holds the phone in front of their face and all you see is a big old ugly real estate agent mug. Let's try to figure this out. And they get you all dizzy and they go all over the house. I can't stand that. I think there's a more professional way to do video open houses, and is to have possibly somebody video you and discuss the open house and then possibly put some better footage in it and then edit it and then release it. If you're going to go live, that's totally cool. I would pick one or two, maybe three features of the home, but don't walk somebody through it up and down stairs, in and out of closets. They're going to go absolutely crazy. You can easily pick one or two or three features, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I mean, I will publicly bash an agent if I see their big old ugly mug walking through a house getting me dizzy. How are you guys promoting your open houses? I know video is so important, and do you even do open houses?
Okay, so I will bash anyone who doesn't do open houses. So I feel very strongly about doing open houses. But remember, I started my career in new home sales. So I was in a permanent open house. So
Yeah,
all of
you
my
were.
agents are trained. I actually have a video training on open houses because I'm so passionate about it. And I've probably made over $3 million net on open house leads in the last 5 years. So I'm just going to put it out there. If you're not doing open houses, there's an easy way for you to make more money by doing them. Um, but you have to have the right training and you have to have the right mindset and preparation to succeed at them. So with video, we have done a lot of lives. Like, we find that our lives get a lot more juice than just doing a video. We don't do a video where we're just walking through a house. We do actually a professional videographer going through and highlighting some of the features of the property. And now we've started actually telling a story. So if you look on our YouTube channel, you can get some ideas, whether it's, and I don't know if there's a place I can post this afterwards. I don't know how to find it really quick, but I have one of the first videos that we did of my personal house, and my children are in it, I'm in it, and my husband's in it. And it's telling the story of a family living in the house, right? So it's designed, that emotional connection we all want and we have used staging for in the past. We're using that in our video. And I learned about that from a video.
Idea.
Oh, it's crazy, because then all of a sudden they relate to it. So we try and focus on who's the buyer for this home and how do we help them have the most emotional connection to the house. So we've had a couple houses that are really not the right design for a family. Okay, they are just, we had one and it hasn't closed yet, so I don't want to jinx myself, but we're the third agent to try and sell this house. And it's just designed, it has 2 kitchens and a wet bar. So it has a kitchen on the upstairs level, a kitchen on the main level. It's like absolutely stunning and an amazing house. But the person who's buying that is probably somebody who is single and wants to entertain and like have an incredible lifestyle there. Every shower, to give you an example, has like a mood experience. You can like listen to music and have steam and have lighting and like enter the jungle in the shower of like the guest bath, right? So this is not a home that's designed for the average family. So we had to highlight it differently in the video.
I'm over here fumbling around looking for the video. I apologize. I can't find it. Out of 811 damn videos, it's a little difficult.
I'll hook you guys up with some videos for sure.
Yeah, maybe we could put them in the Facebook notes, and then we'll go through and put them in the show notes too when we do the podcast, so everybody can come back and get a little some of that on there. All right,
Absolutely.
cool. So that was open houses. So I think we kind of get it. And I'll tell the viewers right now, we do have open house part 1 and 2 training on the Real Estate Marketing Show podcast. I've had multiple agents say, you've completely changed my life and my career based on these trainings. I would go back and listen to them, and I do mean to brag. I think it's the best open house training I've ever seen on the planet.
I'm gonna listen to it.
And they're older too, so now we can mix in. You know, they're probably a couple years old, but now we can mix in some of today's social media technology just to make it that much better. So the ideas are there. I would definitely go through and see that. There was some other thing that you said that, whatever, maybe that muscle relaxer is kicking in.
I have one other topic that we absolutely must talk about with video.
Go. Let's do it.
Recruiting.
Yes. Oh, that's my next one. That's my next one.
Okay. See, the muscle relaxers haven't really kicked in. I mean, you know exactly where you are.
Well, it's bad because I can't even read my own writing on my notes. My back hurt so bad earlier. I was like, oh my God, I can't cancel this. Let's do this. All right, so talk to me about recruiting now. Now, I have a hard time getting to 10 agents on my team, and you have 48. How much of that do you credit video to? Is it something that you think they watched a bunch of videos over and over? Is it one particular video? Give us the goods, girl.
Okay, cool. So, we've used video for a while on our landing page. So I would interview, if we were hiring for a position, I would interview the top person in that position on our team, and I'd get super specific. I'd talk to them about what's hard about the job. And I'm somebody like, I want to tell them the bad news and the good news. Like, I'm not trying to sell you on our team or sell you on a position unless you're really someone who's the right fit and going to do the work. So I think I'm brutally honest, and I'm like, this is what sucks about being an inside sales agent on our team or about being an OSA. So I'm pretty darn candid, right? I'm not selling you. I'm just telling you how it is. And then the natural people who evolved from seeing that are great. So that's how we started. And then I'll fast forward to today and what we're doing. And now it's dramatically evolved. So we did a series of 3 videos. I believe things in threes make the biggest impact, because if somebody sees you one time, you're kind of there. 2 times, they're starting to remember. They may have missed one of the 2. 3 times in a row in a short period of time really works. So for us, we developed an email list, which we got through Broker Metrics. We were able to target exactly the people who met the criteria that we wanted. And we said, okay, we're going to target these people. We're going to email them. And then we're going to create a custom audience of the same group. And we're going to show up everywhere they go for a while so that they cannot escape us. So we did the first video, because we're number one in our market, we've been number one in Virginia for 3 years. In Arlington, Virginia, which is where our office is located, we do 3 times the business of our closest competitor. That ruffles some feathers of other agents in our area, right? They don't always love us because of that. And so it's taken a lot of work to build relationships and create this collaboration with other agents that we're always trying to create. So the first video, I understood how important it was to really focus on how much fun we have. So it's on a $20 million yacht. We're literally like having a party, and we're introducing people to our team members and having them share their experience on the team. So instead of me saying, oh, we're fun and blah, 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 like they're not going to believe me anyway. So I might as well just show it and let other people explain their experience. So we have one agent that's in his first year that's done 28 transactions. We have somebody who's in their second year that doubled their income from last year. So we're just taking all of the things that their fears are and that their concerns are, and we're addressing them up front. Then the next video is like straight between the eyes, let's talk money. So it's a video with me where I'm talking about the average income of an agent in the country. Their first year. Did you see that one?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Thank you. And then I'm like, look, that's sad. Like, why don't you change your life? Why don't you change your experience? So I'm very directly saying, like, if you're motivated, if you're this, if you're that, then I want to talk to you and let's get together. And then the third one, we had an agent that joined us from the local Keller Williams office. And the guy is one of the most skilled agents I've ever worked with. And he had like 5 million of business in his pipeline when he came. He was coming from another team. In only 4 months, he has signed 44 listing agreements on our team. Okay?
Is that even possible?
His business has grown by 400%. Right? So we did an interview with him directly and talked about his experience. He's the one that called us last night and said, hey, I'm about to lose on a $1.3 million listing. What do we do? And,
Gotcha.
my husband and I are like, we're going to record a video for you. We're going to create this. So we're very collaborative and creative on our team, but we're using real life examples of people in our videos. So on Friday, I'm going live with one of my agents that's been with me a long time, that ironically heard me speak on stage at a Craig Proctor event like 7 years ago. And she's going to share her story. And she's been on one of the other local top teams, and she's been a solo agent. So she called me and said, hey, I've been thinking about what stops people from joining a team, and I want to address it head on in a live video. I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. A lot of the agents that are going to watch us are kind of newer in the business and maybe haven't built such a big team. And as we progress in this journey of real estate, you want to build a bigger team, or most people do. It's either, like most of the trainers now, and I believe this, you're either going to build a team or be on a team. There's kind of no in between anymore.
Yeah.
And one of the things about being a top agent is the agents in your area, they really truly think that you're intimidating. And I like your idea of saying, look, we have fun, we're okay, da 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 da. The reality is we're not mean, we're not scary.
No.
My partner Tammy is the sweetest thing in the world, and it's like, and agents come to us sometimes. I say, why would you join their team and not ours? Well, you might expect too much of us, or we heard you're not really nice, or cracking the whip too much. And I think the video series is key. And we're definitely going to steal that idea, because we literally have 10,000 leads sitting in a database today, and there's hundreds and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in commissions sitting there. For an agent to join our team that can't get leads, get a lead by the end of the week and close escrow within 30 days and do it at least a couple times a week. And it's frustrating for me that we have all these leads and nobody to follow up on them because our team's so busy, and frustrating to agents outside of the business to say, I'd like to join a team, but I don't really know the real idea. So video, it's kind of like text messages, right? You can have a text message completely go through different, wrong, backwards. Like today,
Yeah.
I've had so many of those, I get frustrated. That's why we use Marco Polo so much now. But the reality is like, look, it comes across wrong sometimes, but the reality is we have a fun team. We're family. We go through it all together. We lend money if we have to. I mean, it's just a cool culture and an atmosphere, and you just got to get that point across. So I like that idea for recruiting. That's a big, big, big thing. All right, let's see here.
If
Holiday
you
messages and other things like today. Um, I've seen a million Instagram posts, and I've even done the same thing. How do you feel about reaching out to your sphere of influence, just reminding them what you're thinking about during the holidays or what's coming up around you? Do you think we should be doing some more of that? We have a holiday
so
every month, right? So that's 12 videos right there during a year.
I don't do that. I feel like holidays are overused.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so instead, I do 4 events, and they're big, fun events a year. And when my clients hear from me about a holiday, I do holiday personal holiday cards from my family, and all of my clients A and B get those. But I don't do like the happy holidays email. In general, I just feel like emails flood people's inboxes and they don't really appreciate them. Like, I don't read anyone's email that says Happy Veterans Day. I
Right.
just don't. So for me, we do like a happy holidays party. I have Santa at my house. People get to avoid the crazy malls and come and bring their family. We have a professional photographer that'll do their picture with Santa or without, and they can use that photo in their holiday cards. We also do a fall festival, which just happened for us. We have a live band there. We just added the band. So in the past, we haven't done that. It was a huge hit. We'll do it for every year moving forward. At our Santa party, we probably will have 200 people attend, and it's in my home, right? So it's a very personal experience. We have Santa downstairs with the tree on the lower level, and we have brunch catered on the main level, and all the parents hang out. All the kids play in the playroom. We have a little station where they get to decorate gingerbread cookies in the basement. So it's pretty cool.
That's fun.
It's so fun. The clients love it. And I mean, they are like, what date? Like, people will text me when they're planning their holiday travel, like, when's the holiday party? Right. So that's pretty cool. Then the fall festival, we do it outside at a park. It's incredibly inexpensive. We bring in a food truck to cater it. And people just come and hang out, and they decorate pumpkins, and we play games. We have a cornhole tournament. Like, it's very fun and easy to put on. And then the big event that we do every single year is a Nats game. So that is huge. We had 625 clients attend last year. It's
Holy
so
moly.
big that they call us on the field and announce us.
That's awesome.
It's
So,
cool.
so as we talk about video, all my mind is doing is just I cannot wait to see the videographer this year follow this stuff, because it's the B-roll from last year that makes next year bigger and better, right?
Yes. Yeah, and we
You
have not
do.
leveraged video correctly for our events ever before, because remember, I just started changing the game with video 90 days ago in my business. Like,
Right.
I've been doing some things right for a while, but now I have 2 full-time videographers, and the game will forever be different.
Yeah, no, I'm so proud of you. You're Gary V again, girl. But that's true. I mean, I can only picture, based on our conversations over the last several days, how those events will be utilized. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better venue to show the team's culture, show your appreciation for life and your appreciation for clients and your appreciation for the business. That just overflows via video into people's lives. So I mean, I just couldn't think of a better way to do that. And I am just so bad at I'm trying to filter myself, trying so bad at wanting to go see 400 clients in one day. I'm just like, are you kidding me? But I know in this business, to survive, we need to do that. Maybe
And
that's what it
I love it. So I like, even like, we had a random happy hour, which, guys, if you don't do events, send out an email saying like, hey, it's getting cold. Let's all go have hot toddies together, right? Like, whatever the event is. I did one. My coach pushed me to do it. I only had like a week and a half until the event. 125 people showed up. This was my first event. I was pregnant with my son at the time. So this is 3 years ago now, about. And 125 people show up. I planned for 50 because I didn't know that many people would be excited about coming to a happy hour. At 11 o'clock, it started at like 6 p.m. At 11 o'clock, I'm like, I've got to go. I left the bar tab open. Peace out. By the way, limit the drinks, do like 2 drinks a person, and then they're on their own tab or something, or it's going to get out of control. My clients are fun. Like, they are really fun. So I think they were out till like 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, it was crazy. The bar
Maybe I
tab
could do
was
that
crazy.
one.
Yeah. But I mean, people love events. So I really encourage you guys, if you haven't done them, combine doing events with video. And I'll show you, I'll send one in the notes here. We did one at event that we did. It was a casino party, and we actually had the girls with the feathers, and we did do video there, and we got client testimonials. Piece of advice: don't wait till too late in the night, because people are like slurring their speech. They had to cut some people were really drunk. But they're amazing. It's an incredible time to get updated testimonials.
All right. So my last thing before we wrap this up, before we talk more about this freaking event that I'm going to change my life around to go to, I hope. So Facebook Live and Instagram Live seems to be the thing. I know my videos, just on my Instagram, I only have like 4,000 followers, but on my Instagram, I'll probably get, anywhere from 500 to 1,000 views, depending on how entertaining the video is. Facebook Lives like this eventually hit 1,000 views, but I think you agree live is important, right?
Oh, live is huge. Yeah.
So if we can mix in entertaining and live, I guess let's just say it that. I think that should be our goal, me and you, right? Make them super entertaining and live and do a lot more of them. Because I sit here on my computer and I don't know where the setting is, but anytime any person that I might not even know that's a Facebook friend just pops up, and sometimes it scares the crap out of me. It just pops up. So like, how could you not want that, first of all? But then I go, well, if they went live, that might be something worth watching. I mean, you only go live if it's something cool, right? So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of my goal, and based on what we're talking about with you, I think that's part of your vibe that you want to do, and kind of think outside of the box, and do some really interesting, fun things for people. So with that being said, let's talk more about your event. What are people going to expect out of this event? How do we get tickets to this event and whatnot?
Sure. So I'm actually going to put the link so you guys have it here. So it's hyper fast. I can't type to save my life. Sales boot camp.
I'm going to take that website and I'm going to put it in the Facebook Live feed too.
Awesome.
Right now.
That would be amazing. So basically, it's super simple. You go on there, it's going to prompt you. The ticket is as little as $97, guys, to be in the room with Grant Cardone and top real estate agents and industry leaders from around the country that are going to change the way that you're doing video, that are going to change the way that you're approaching your business. Like, it's too cheap to not be there. So that's kind of like the easy thing. Just sign up for a normal ticket. Now, if you're interested in actually getting a picture with Grant Cardone and being VIP, there's a lot of other cool things that you get. When you do a ticket for $500, that gets you a private consultation with me on your business. So if there's a question you have, something that you're struggling with that you know is getting in the way of you moving to the next level, that's included in the $500 ticket. And then the $1,000 ticket, you actually get to get your picture with Grant, and you get access to a course that we've done on Facebook and how to leverage getting leads on Facebook and a whole bunch of other stuff. So you'll see all of that when you go through that. That's also the way you can go to sign up for our Inner Circle or Inner Circle VIP. So it's super simple.
Okay, so I want to be part of an Inner Circle anytime I hear it. What is that?
It's just, so I didn't even talk to you guys about the Inner Circle yet. So
well, you talked to me. I was just trying to give you a plug if you wanted to.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad you did, because I forgot I didn't even mention it. So essentially for me, I have traveled around the country for the last 10 years learning and focused on, okay, how can I learn from the people who are ahead of where I want to go, right? And that's cost me a lot of money. I've spent probably 500,000. I mean, if I'm being careful with what I've spent, because I did Tony Robbins Platinum Partnership Program. I'm
Where's
in
a 100 grand?
Table Mastermind. I did Goodfellow Coaching and still coach with Coach Ken. I've done Proctor, as we talked about. I've just focused on, obviously, Gary Vaynerchuk and Grant Cardone and getting to personally meet with them, right? So all of those experiences have taught me so much, and I'm committed to continue that learning. But I recognize, as a mom of two and being pregnant with my third, not everyone can do that because we're all at different levels in our business. And so for some people, they're still in the business selling, and traveling isn't something they have the luxury of making time for right now in their life. And I get that. So the inner circle is designed to deliver educational content from whatever I'm experiencing and learning from in the moment. So when I was at Closing Table, in the evenings and the morning, I'm giving lessons that I'm learning from the group in the inner circle, right? And then the inner circle VIP gets you access to exactly the tools I use to train my team. So my top producer on my real estate team will do 45 million in volume herself this year. So when you're looking at like, wow, how do you create that successful of a team? Most of my agents are in the top 1% of agents in the country. Okay, well, what does that, how does that happen? It's not a coincidence. It happens through really systemized training and a focused approach. And that's what the VIP inner circle gets you access to. Everything that I use to train my own team.
That's awesome. Quick question. We're going to stream this event or possibly record it, maybe?
That I am planning on, but I can't guarantee it. So it's going to be hard because it's a lot of information. And the day before the event, we're actually doing a mastermind in our office. So anyone who wants to come, we're pulling back the curtain. You can interview any department in my team. So if you want to talk to my marketing team about what we're doing, if you want to talk to my inside sales team, my agents, it's completely open book. You can ask any questions. Nothing is off limits. And you can have a conversation with them. And then afterwards, we're heading over to my house to do a fireside chat. So all of that, there's no way I can live stream it and really involve everybody in all of that value conversation.
Get your butt on a plane if you want the most effort, or give the most effort to get the best results and the most results. So awesome. All right. I don't know how we made it to an hour. Like, holy moly.
Did we really? Oh my goodness.
We did. But I so appreciate you. What else do you want to say to the country? I mean, with 4,000 downloads a month, we might get some pretty good stuff out there. I'd like to say I'm gonna rearrange my life to get to your event, and I think everybody should with me.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. You're going to add a lot of value to the event too.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate you doing this podcast with me, and amazing how willing you are to share with everybody, and that makes such a difference in our community. What's your website where people can go visit you at?
KeriShull.com. So it's KeriShull.com.
Perfect.
And one thing I would leave people with is, sometimes it's hard to figure out where you're going. And I went through a period, I was talking to one of my best friends about this recently. I was sitting in a Tony Robbins seminar, and I remember just sobbing because at one point my goal was to be #1 in Arlington. And then my goal was to be #1 in Virginia. And then I'd been #1 in Virginia for, a year, 2 years. And I started to realize, like, what's next? What do I want to do from here? And that's when I decided I wanted to give back to agents, and I wanted to develop the inner circle and the inner circle VIP. And so having that desire to contribute to the agent community on a bigger level, that's what gets my juices flowing. That's what gets me excited right now. And growing my team also gets me excited. But it took me breaking through and saying, okay, I can do that. Like, I can be a really big voice in our agent community to help people grow. And so for you guys out there that are struggling right now and you're not exactly sure where you want to go, take the time to listen to your heart and figure out what that is, because once you have that why, you will be unstoppable.
I love it. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. Please remember to rate our podcast. Carrie, thank you again for visiting us. And I will talk to you guys during the next podcast. Let me know if you guys need anything. We're always here. Reach out, everybody. Love you all. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.